Hi there, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to build a simple single page application using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. No frameworks, no libraries, just plain JavaScript. This is a great way to understand the fundamentals of single page applications before moving on to more complex tools like React or Angular. Here's the single page application we'll be building today. It's a basic multi-page site, but everything is loaded on a single page. We'll have a home page, an about page, and a contact page, and we'll navigate between them without reloading the page. Let's break down how this works and how you can build it yourself. Don't miss out this fun and educational project, and I upload unique project videos every week. Please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you have any questions or suggestions, make sure to subscribe our channel Sarachandar K and hit that notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. Your support means a lot. That helps me to create more content for you. Now let's dive into the code. Let's open the single page application project folder in my favorite code editor, Visual Studio Code. Let me know your favorite and why in our comment box below. Inside the directory, I have already added index.html, style.css and script.js. Inside the index.html, I have added the HTML boilerplate with the help of exclamation mark. Along with this, I have changed the title to single page application by Sharat Chandar, and below I have linked other two files with the help of link with style.css with the help of script for script.js. Now inside the body we need to add the content for single page application. First we'll start with navigation with the help of nav attribute. Inside the nav attribute we'll add the UL tag with the ID of dynamic menus, and then the next attribute of div with ID of content. So for that we have a embed abbreviation to add the div with ID with the help of hash and then content. If I hit enter, it will automatically create a div tag with the help of ID attribute with the value of content. And next thing we'll add the footer with the help of footer attribute. Inside this we'll add the p tag. Inside the p tag we have added the copyright with 2024 and designed by Sharat Chandar K and all rights received. Now let us see our HTML file in action. For that, in Visual Studio Code we have a extension called Go Live. Once we click, the tool will automatically run our project into the default browser. Here we can see the title of single page application on the tab heading and the content of footer only. And in the HTML, that's it. Here all the content will be dynamic with the help of JavaScript. If you want to learn more about JavaScript, I have already created 52 weeks of 52 project in JavaScript. I have added the link in the description. Please do check it out. Now we need to style this. For that I need to jump to the style.css. I have already imported the URL of font family poppins and I have added the global selector of asterisk to reset the margin to 0, padding to 0, box sizing border box, and then font family of poppins from import URL. And then next thing we need to add the styles to the nav, the help of nav, and we'll set the background color of light black color, and then we'll set the padding to 1.2 rem. If I go to the browser, here we can see the changes immediately. That is how the live server will work. The next thing we'll set the styles to the footer with the help of footer, and we'll set the position to absolute. We'll set bottom to 0, left to 0, right to 0. We'll set padding 1.2 rem, and we'll set the same background color of the navigation bar, and we'll set the color of white, and we'll set the font weight to 500. We'll set the display to flags because we need to set this content into the center of the footer with the help of justify content center and align items to be center. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the footer is set to bottom of the page. Now the next thing we need to add the menus as dynamic with the help of JavaScript. For that I need to jump to the script.js. I need to add the document.add event listener. Document is an owner of your web page. With the help of this we can do DOM manipulation, and then I'm going to add the add event listener of DOM content loader. This could be on load of this document. Once this JS is loaded, then this event listener will fire. The next thing we'll add the declarations to the menus as well as the content with the help of const, and we'll set the content div equal to document dot get element by id. With the help of id we can get that entire content here, and I'll use this content of this id here, and then next const would be dynamic menu equal to same document dot get element by id. Here we have more options to get this element with the help of element selector or id or class or property. So we have covered all in our playlist. Now we'll check the console.log of content div and then dynamic menu. If I save, if I go to the browser, here in the browser, if I go to insert element, here we can see the content div as well as the dynamic menus of that UL. That is how the DOM tree will work. Now we need to add the dynamic menus with the help of array. As we discussed, this is a simple single page application. So for now I am using as an object. In future we may get it from DB or some dynamic ways. So for that object I'm going to create const pages equal to that object. Inside that we are going to create three pages. One is home, second one is about, and then third one is contact. Now inside this object we need to add the HTML element like same as what we did in the index.html. For this home I will set for the h1 as home element, and then next attribute of paragraph tag with the help of welcome to our single page application with line break, and then I'm going to add two more paragraph tag with about the single page application with class value itself. So for same as this I have added for about and contact also. So I just replaced here. Now we can see the about also as well as contact too. So with the help of this object we can create as a dynamic pages as well as the dynamic content. So as of now this is a simple. In later projects we can go with the dynamic content from DB, or we can create a separate pages with application folder and then we'll make use of that. Now I need to loop through this whenever the windows is on load. So for that I'm going to create one more event listener of window dot add event listener of load function. Inside this function whenever the document is loaded this should be fired. So I will set let declaration equal to 0. Now we need to loop through this object with the help of for each. We'll set the let key in pages because we are having this object as a pages. Now inside this we'll check with the help of console.log of key. If I save, if I go to the browser, here in the insert we can see the home, about and contact. This is what the key of this pages. So we can consider inside this object this is a key and this is a value. So right now we have just get this as a key and it will be binded here. Now once we get the key we need to set this as a dynamic menus. For that I need to create one more let declaration of li equal to document dot create element. This will create the element as same as this HTML. So I'm going to create this li because this li is to append to this ul. Li dot inner HTML equal to we are going to add as a hyperlink with the help of a with href equal to hash of key, because based on this key we need to navigate, and then we'll close the a tag here. here we have created this li with inner html. Now we need to bind this li into that ul with the help of this declaration of dynamic menus dot append child. So we are in the for loop. Whenever this for loop is loading, we'll create one li and we are appending to that inner html and we are appending to this dynamic menu. So for the pages we have a three elements. So for each it will create and it will append it to this dynamic menu. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the home, about and contact based on this object. So for now I will remove the contact from here. So if I save, if I go to the browser again, now we can see only home and about. Again I can revert. If I save, if I go to the browser, here now we can see the three keys from this object. That is how the dynamic content will load. Now we need to style this. For that again I need to jump to the style.css. We are going to add the styles to that ul with the help of, first we'll set the list style to none and we'll set the display to flags, justify content to be center. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the content is placed into the center of this new. And next thing we'll add the styles to this li with the help of ul as a parent, and then li will set the margin of top and bottom to be 0 and then right and left to be 15 px. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the space between each key. And next thing we need to add the styles to that href with the help of parent and child and then attribute of a. For this we'll set the color to white and we'll set the text decoration to be none. This will help us to remove this underline and we'll set the font size to 18 px and we'll set the text transform to uppercase. This will help us to change all the characters to be in uppercase and we'll set the font weight to 500. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the home, about, contact. Once we click in the URL, based on that key from the href, it is appending. Based on this navigation, we'll get the content and it will be loaded here. Same as whenever we hover, we need to change the color for this navigation. For that, UL of li and then a tag of hover. For this hover, we'll set the text decoration to be underline and we'll set the color of blue color. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I go on over, we'll get that color effect as well as the underline. So for the first time, we need to set this home as active. So for that, we can make use of this same style with the help of ul and li and then a of active. Active is a special class based on this property. We'll set this styles to active. So for that, if I go to the script.js, here I can set off class equal to active. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see all the menu item is set to blue color as well as the underline. So based on the navigation of clicking that time only this should show, right? So for that we need to set this active for first time only for home. So for that we can make use of this conditional operator with the help of I, what we have already declared on the top. This is first time, this should be 0. We can check I double equal to 0, then we'll set active, else we'll set for null. The next thing we need to increment that I with the help of I plus plus. If I save, if I go to the browser, the first time this is home of 0, so anyway this set to active. Whenever we click this should be remove and this should be set to active. As well as based on this home, we'll get that home content and should be binded here. For this we need to create one more event listener of window dot add event listener of hash change. With the help of this hash change, we'll get the URL from the hash. So for that I am going to write the console.log to check this window dot location dot hash. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I insert here, we'll get that add event listener as empty because this is content. If I click on home, we'll get this as a home. If I click on about, we'll get this about. If I click on contact, we'll get that. So based on this add event listener of hash change, we get the appropriate hash value here. So with the help of this, we need to load. For loading this, we can create one more function of load page of hash parameter. So with the help of this hash of this key, we can get the content from the page with the help of const of page equal to hash dot replace, because here we are getting with hash and home, but in the key we have only home or about or contact. So we need to remove that hash with the help of replace of hash and will set to empty here. Now if I do the console dot log of page and I will call this load page instead of console dot log. If I save, if I go to the browser, the console is empty. If I click on home, will not get anything because this is already present. We are not changing. Whenever this is changing, that time only that add event listener will be fire. So now I am going to change with the help of about click. We'll get that about with replace of hash, and then same for contact also, and same for home also. So based on this, we'll get that page object here. So the next thing, we'll set this content div dot inner HTML equal to, we'll get the pages of that key value of page. If I save, if I go to the browser, here it is empty. When I click about, we'll get that about. When I click for contact, we'll get that contact. When I click for home, we'll get again. When I'm refresh, it is empty. So for that, if it is empty, we can set directly pages dot key of home. So whenever we click for dot, and we'll get the key and then values. So for the first time, I will set for home. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I refresh, the home is empty. Why? Because we have added this event listener of hash change only. The same thing we need to use for onload also. For onload, I will use this load page outside this add event listener. I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the home content here. So if I click on about, we'll get. If I click on contact, we'll get. So we need to style this. For that, I need to jump to the style.css. For this content div, I will set the padding to 20 px and text align to be center. And then next thing, we have added this class to this content from the object also with the help of text align. So I will use this dot text align because this is a class declaration. So I will use this dot and I will set to text align to be justified, and will set the padding top and bottom to 1 rem and then right and left to 5 rem. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the about as well as the content is set to the center of the screen. Why? Because this is about. Here we can see the hash is about. If I remove, if I hit enter, now this is empty. That time we'll check the arrays is empty, and then we'll set directly default of pages.home. Here we can see the home content and then content of single page application. If I click on about, we'll get that about content. If I click on contact, we'll get that contact information as well as my email ID and what is my goals. And then pending thing is, whenever we click this, the hyperlink of active is not set to change. So for that, I need to jump to the script.js. Here in the script.js, I need to create one more function of set active link. For this, I will pass the page as a parameter. Inside this, we'll get this links equal to document dot query selector all. This will help us to get all the links inside the navbar. With the help of nav, inside the name we have ul, inside the ul we have li, inside the li we have a. If it is confusing, so I will show you with the help of console.log of links. Before that, I will initialize this set active link and will pause this as empty. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I go for the console.log, here we can see node list of 0. Why? Because this is set to null on the first time. For this, this, I can cut this and I will paste next to here and I will pause the page here. Now the node list is 0. Why? Because on the page load of this onload, we are pausing this and then inside this, we'll get this page as empty. So only we have loaded as home. For the first time, this should be empty. Whenever we click on about, we'll get this node list of active with 3. Based on this click, we need to shift the styles from one element to another. Here with the help of this links dot for each of element, instead of element I set to link and then we'll set the link dot class list dot toggle. This will help us to set and remove the class of given value. So for that I need to remove this active. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I click on about, here we can see this is removed from here and it is added others too. So same as if I click on contact, it will remove from here and it will add it on other side. And for that we can use link dot get attribute of href, because we are getting this link dot href of home or whatever based on the click dot includes. This will check from this page. So based on this link dot get attribute, we'll get if it is home, about or contact, and this includes this current whatever we are clicking. So for example, if I'm clicking as a home, this will get as a home and we are removing all the active with the help of toggle and we'll check if this is home. For that only this will set for active. If I save, if I go to the browser, I will show here. So here the first time this is home and it's set to active. So the second time whenever we click for about, we are passing this about to this active link. So that time this will check the user is clicking on particular link and will set the active class to that particular link. So if I click on contact, we can get this style as well as the content from the object. So we can navigate from anywhere. How simple is this, right? And that's it. A simple single page application using just HTML, CSS and JavaScript. As you can see, we can navigate between different screens of the site and the content updates dynamically without a full page reload. This is a great starting point for building more complex single page applications. I hope this video will be helpful for you. Please like and share this video and also subscribe to my channel Saraj Chandar K to watch more like this one. If you are interested in JavaScript projects like this, I have already created a playlist of 52 weeks in 52 projects in JavaScript. Link in the description. Please do check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep coding and keep learning. See you in the next video. Happy coding. Bye for now. Have a nice day.